Continue to listen into the Pentagon briefing, but I want to bring in NBC's Courtney Kube, who's in Bahrain for us, Aaron Gilchrist at the White House, and here with me on set, retired U.S. Army Brigadier General Peter Zwack, also a former attaché to the Russian Federation. This morning when I was talking to my team, I said, this is very complicated stuff. It's our job to help people understand it. You said, as the Major General Pat Ryder was talking, you said, I don't know how you follow all of this stuff. So help us follow this stuff. What did you hear there that's important for our viewers to know?
Chris, great question. I think, first of all, I think that the ground has shifted a little bit in this situation. I guess we can call it a fight. And that we have now had two major strikes in the last 4 days. Into Iraq against the Shia militias, and we have hit the Houthis again. Now that is that is now the ground is shifted. That is strong, hard messaging. And it's not the end of it. The spokesman, General Ryder, mentioned that. This is just, and if the Houthis and the militias continue on, they're going to get struck again, full stop. And I don't know what the threshold is. I've got to believe that in these tactical pauses, their targeteers are working. They are doing, we heard about battle damage assessments and going public. No, they're doing that right now to really set it up, well, what's next? And I have a feeling that they are going to, if the Houthis especially continue to persist, let alone the Shia militias, yes, they killed 6 Kurds that we have good relations with. And there are some near misses again out in the Red Sea. Well, we want to be sure that that message, Chris, comes in hard before any other Americans or partner allies are killed. And what that threshold is, I don't know, but I think that we're pretty close again to follow up with another round of strikes.
Courtney, you spent the last several days on board the USS Eisenhower talking about how complicated this mission is. What did you learn?
Yeah, so, I mean, first, the logistics of it are really difficult. The Eisenhower and a couple of the ships that are associated with the carrier strike group are mainly in the southern Red Sea in that area. It's relatively remote. They are inside an area where the Houthis could target them. So it's a dangerous deployment for these men and women on the Eisenhower, on the USS Mason, which we also visited over the weekend. But what we really saw on Saturday evening was this tremendous undertaking to try to go and conduct a number of strikes, at least 13 different locations, 36 targets. And we saw as more than 24 U.S. military aircraft took off the Eisenhower to go and carry out these strikes. Now, it's everything from fighter jets that are loaded with 2,000-pound bombs, precision-guided munitions, air-to-air missiles, Sidewinder missiles in case they have any threat coming at them from a Houthi drone or something like that. They all loaded up. It took about 45 minutes to an hour for them all to take off the carrier. They went forward to Yemen, and they carried out these strikes in conjunction with the British military. But it's extremely dangerous flying because it's the middle of the night and because the Houthis do have air defense systems. So it's a dangerous undertaking. We spoke to a number of senior officials on the ship, the USS Eisenhower, over the last couple of days, and every one of them told us unanimously that they believe this was a success. But the reality is they are still at a very high op-tempo or state of alert because they are concerned that the Houthi attacks, as you mentioned, earlier, there was already one over the weekend. They're concerned that they will continue despite these pretty punishing airstrikes, Chris.
Courtney Kube and General Peter Zwack, who we appreciate coming into the studio. Aaron, I'm sorry we didn't have